Hey guys, it's Carnivore 5, and today I want to bring you part 3 of the Diamond Dynasty Legend Review. Today we're going to be looking at the NL East, and again I'm going to be talking about the economics of acquiring them, how they actually play on the field. I'll be talking about their ratings, and I'll show you guys some gameplay footage as well. So here's a quick look at Nico's attributes. Solid across the board, 99 stamina, it's very useful. As far as acquiring Nico, I would definitely recommend the Braves collection. It can be done for under 10k, maybe as low as 5k. I mean, I think there's only silver players under him. It's not very difficult to complete at all. As a market, he's going to be over 50k. It's just a rare pull, so you guys definitely want to stick with the Braves collection. So I give him an A overall as far as economics. Performance-wise, I give Nico an A+. I truly believe he is a top 3 Diamond Dynasty pitcher. Not only the fact he is a knuckleballer, he has 99 stamina, but he also has that screwball and curveball, and he has a decent fastball as well. So make sure you guys mix in all 4 of your pitches. Something to do is to, try to throw that screwball up and in against the right-handed hitters, and you will get jam shots, as well as a curveball up and in to lefties. I've used him quite a bit online, and I think he has the lowest ERA among all my starters. And I noticed when I use him against some good hitting teams, he usually gets the job done and keeps me in the game. So I highly recommend Nico. Overall, I'd give him an A+. Moving on to Floyd, just a quick look at his attributes. If you guys didn't know, Floyd is actually the 3rd best left fielder in the game. Quickly, we're going to talk about acquiring him. Definitely recommend doing the collection. He's not too bad on the market. You can get him for 15 to 20k, but the collection you can probably get for under 5k. I think I did it for 3 to 4k. It was really cheap. He was one of the first players I got. He's a great left-handed bat, power, contact. And if you guys even if you guys aren't doing a budget team, I would recommend getting Floyd on your bench. And something else to keep in mind, since he is the 3rd highest left fielder, if you don't have Ted Williams or maybe Cargo, I would recommend starting Floyd. He has above average defense and good contact and power from the left side of the batter's plate. So I mean, it's definitely a good bargain. And you guys got to remember, when you're moving center fielders or right fielders over to left field, they're taking a 20% penalty deduction in their fielding attributes. So keep that in mind. That is one reason I would recommend Floyd over a lot of people playing. Like I see a lot of people putting like Gomez or Trout or whoever in left field, and that's still great. Those are still great players to put in left field, but you're still taking a 20% deduction. So if you move someone with Trout, I think he has 80 fielding. His fielding is going to go into like the 60s. So you might as well just stick with someone like Floyd who has 70 fielding. Or, I recommend Cargo or Brantley. If you don't have Williams, of course Williams will be the best one. Overall, I give Floyd an A-. He hasn't performed the best for me, but I really haven't given him enough at-bats. I use him off the bench as a pinch hitter, but overall I do give him an A-. He's definitely a bargain, guys. So moving on, we're going to Seaver here. Seaver is, again, in my opinion, probably a top 5 pitcher for DV. I think rating-wise, he is a top 5 pitcher. But we all know ratings don't mean everything, especially for pitchers, because Clayton Kershaw, I think, is not that hard to hit on the game. So keep that in mind. The economics grade for Seaver, I'd give him a B-. He does come with a hefty price. I mean, you have to get Wright and Harvey, and that's going to cost you about 15 to 20k alone. Overall, the Mets collection can cost you upward of 40k. In the market, you might be able to get him around the same price, so you might want to check that out if you're just looking to add him and you're not so worried about the collection. But if you need some players like a 3rd baseman or you need a few starting pitchers, I would recommend just doing the collection. You're going to get your money's worth. Performance-wise, like I said, I think he is one of the best pitchers. The one downside, he only has 1 fastball, but it does have some good movement. It would have been nice to have like a 2-seamer with him. I could run that in on the righties, but he does have one of the best changeups. It can go down to 77 mile an hour. His fastball can go up to 97, and his curveball and slider are 2 great breaking balls that can offset one another. So I mean, he has it all, and plus you add in his deceptive delivery. The guy is a total beast on the mound, and if you're looking for a guy, top of your rotation, I would definitely recommend going for Seaver. Overall, I give him an A-. He is one of my favorite pitchers to pitch with, and I would give him an edge over pitchers like Clayton Kershaw, even Nolan Ryan, even though I love using Nolan Ryan. But I think I don't know, just something about pitching with Seaver. He's got a smooth delivery. He's got that deceptive delivery, and it just seems like it's super easy to spot the ball with him, and he's got such good movement on all of his pitches. I wish I could pitch him more in DD, but unfortunately it doesn't seem to be too random. So I've only got to use him maybe 4 to 5 times, and a lot of those times have been against top teams. So I don't have the best stats with him, but I know eventually his ERA is going to be around Necro's when it's all said and done. One key tip with this guy is to make sure you're definitely using your curveball and slider. A lot of people just like to stick that fastball change. Use that curve and slider to offset one another. I know a lot of people just want to abuse the changeup, but make sure you guys are mixing in all your pitches. We're going to move to Mike Schmidt. Actually, yeah, so like I said, guys, just make sure you keep mixing up his pitches, and I want to get into something else. I know a lot of people like to just stick with the high fastballs online, but Seaver is one of those guys you definitely want to try out the low fastball combo with. Yeah, so like I said, guys, another key tip with using Harvey is you want to keep his fastball down. I know a lot of people like to just throw high fastballs all game, but his deceptive delivery, and he releases the ball so low, his low fastball is one of the best in the game, and that's going to be used to set up his slider, as you've seen there, and this changeup. Definitely a great pitcher. Moving on, we're going to go to Mike Schmidt. Kind of have mixed impressions of Mike Schmidt. I mean, I think he's definitely one of the best according to his ratings. He's a 99 overall, so he is arguably the best player in the game, along with Miggy and Trout. But I don't know, for some reason I haven't hit too well with him. We're going to get into the economics of acquiring him. Overall, I'd give him a C+. He is somewhat expensive, and he can cost you up to 50K to complete the collection. Cliffley and Hamels plus Utley can cost you about 30K alone. Those aren't bad guys to add in your rotation, but I'm not a big fan of putting lefties in Diamond Dynasty rotations because people just stack up all righties, and it's tough to pitch to that. On the market, he's going to be about 75 to 125K. So I would just go for the collection. I think Mike Schmidt's a good player to go for if you're needing starting pitching, because that way you can kill 2 birds with 1 stone there, and you can get Lee and Hamels in your rotation, and then add Utley for your second baseman. If you guys just trying to look for an upgrade at third base, and you already have someone like Seager or Beltre, I would just stick with him. I would definitely prefer someone like George Brett. In fact, I use George Brett on my team, and I bring Mike Schmidt off the bench. I know it sounds crazy. It's like a 50,000K or 50,000 stub player on the bench, but I just couldn't hit too well with him, and I prefer left-handed batters in DD. So I'd recommend George Brett, Kyle Seager, or Chris Davis at third base. They hit a lot better for me. But of course, you are going to get that great defensive Schmidt at third. So just guys, you're just gonna have to pick and choose what you want out of him. The economics grade is C+. It is somewhat expensive, and performance-wise, I give him a B. I don't think I have had enough sample size to judge him fully. I mean, I haven't hit too great with him, and I seem to get jammed a lot with him, as you guys can probably tell from the gameplay. Don't get me wrong, though, he still absolutely crushes lefties, and if you guys have a stacked team, he's a good player to have on the bench because he can you can play him against lefties, you can play him at third, or you can play him at first, and he's going to give you some really good defense. It's just overall, I didn't feel like he played like a 99, so that's why I'm giving him a B- overall grade. Comes with a high price tag, and I don't know, like I love Mike Schmidt. I think he's probably the best third baseman of all time, but on the game I just haven't did too well with him, so my opinion might be a little bit biased. Moving on to the last legend, it's the Washington Nationals, Andre Dawson. Quick look at his attributes there. Dawson is one of the best right fielders in the game up there at Wakefield. Yeah, as far as economics, I'd give it C+. And the only reason this is not lower is the fact that Dawson can be surprisingly cheap on the market. Last I checked, he could be bought for 35K, and the bidding price was at 27K. So that's not too bad. If you're looking to just upgrade at right field, you might want to try the market. Like I said, if you're starting a new team and you want to plug a lot of pieces in at once, I would definitely just go for the collection. If you really want Andre Dawson, it's going to cost you probably up to 50K, but you're going to get a lot of good pitching. Scherzer, Zimmerman, Strasburg, Fister, Gonzalez, and then you're going to have players like Harper, Zimmerman, Rendon. I mean, the Nationals don't really have a weakness in their lineup, so you'll be able to acquire a lot of good players. And actually, you don't need Scherzer to obtain them, but still though, you're still going to get a lot of good pitching. That's why I give it a C+. If not, I would give it, if the Nationals weren't so good, you know, I'd give it lower. But that's part of the reason they are expensive, because their team is so good. So, performance-wise, I haven't actually faced Dawson or seen anyone using him. I think most people just go for Winfield or K-line. I would give him an A- overall. Hitting with him, it felt somewhat similar to Winfield, but he is attribute-wise a little bit better hitter than Winfield. I still take Winfield's defense, and the fact that Winfield is a lot cheaper to obtain. I give Winfield that slight edge. But man, if you get Dawson in a pack, or if you can get him cheap, yeah, he's definitely worth it. Definitely a top 3 right fielder to use in the game. So performance-wise, I give him an A-, and overall, I would give him a B-. Once again, a solid right fielder. Him, Winfield, K-line, Kiner, I mean, they're all up there. But it's really up to you guys. The one downside of those guys, they're all right-handed, so that might be something you guys want to consider. You guys might want to platoon him, but his defense is so good in right. That's kind of one reason I use Winfield, so that might be something to consider. Before I end the video, I just kind of want to talk about playing players out of position. I don't know if you guys are aware, but if you have like 3 center fielders on your team and you play them out of position, they will lose 20%. So just keep that in mind when you are shuffling around your outfield. That's kind of how the game works. So if you have Trout or something, you put him in left or right, he will lose 20% on his fielding. And guys, the video is coming to an end really quickly. Tell me if you guys like these videos or not, because I'm thinking about doing the AL, but I don't want to spend all the time on them. I hate so many views, so please like them, and criticize. Feel free to criticize. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to check out the article as well. This is Cardinal Bird 5 signing out. Take it easy, everybody.